Hey guys, I'm smelling now that I uncapped my mug here, the fine Santal Absolut, one of my favorite scents. I'm going to be using the B23 from Zenith here to work it. Still fairly young, but just now, recently, with use 23, something like that, it is starting to become a brush that I enjoy using. I liked it okay before, but it just had a lot of backbone. This is a kind of two-tone, rhodium plated, black rhodium and normal rhodium Fat Boy that I purchased, and a pretty cool custom option that the guy who before me had done to it, and it looks great. And I'll be using my Nacet, and today is a little bit of a mini milestone with that blade because it is 350 uses. How about that? Just 15 away from a whole year on one blade. Not consecutively, but I think it's pretty cool anyway. So I have learned I don't need to soak this puck of soap. And so it is as it is normally found between shaves. I think I used it 2 days ago, so it might still have a little bit of moisture remaining in there. Let's load up. And my Nacet has those 3 dots just to kind of identify that it's the same one. And then before I tighten it down, I like to set the gap. Now, this is a very old blade. It's been used a lot. I have gradually clocked up the adjustability settings and aggression settings on the base plates in the past to help the blade to work better. But recently I was using a Gillette Tech, a vintage Tech, and I actually got a comfy shave. So how about we try doing the reverse? Let's go backwards. Let's try a 4, which is a general setting for me that I do enjoy on even if I have a younger blade. Now I usually shave it at 3, a little bit more comfort, and the closeness is just fine for me. But let's try a 4. So lock that down, and he'll be ready. Now we are dealing with a day and a half of beard growth, and so who knows what the tugginess is going to be like. The Nacet generally likes just 1 day of growth. All right, let us load up. The brush has had a nice chance to soak maybe for an hour. That's what I've been doing to my low-use Boar brushes as I shake the water out here, a lot of it. That's just what I've been doing to my low-use Boar brushes as a break-in, just a little bit long of a soak before the use. Nothing like a fridge soak or anything like that for 3 days and all that. So let's do a 15-second load, and there we go. Medium pressure. And just this little bit will be plenty. Still see a bit of liquid in the soap. That's okay. No problem at all. You can pour, if you want to be really conservative, you can pour those few suds into your lather bowl if you want. And now I'll put the brush in there too to sit while I just get my face wet. All right, let's tilt you down for the lather building. Whole 2 teaspoons because I know I'm going to need more than that. I think usually 3 or 4 teaspoons. looking great. Pretty loose right now, so let's just keep giving it a mix. Make sure that the soap that we have absorbed into the brush gets a good chance to mingle with all the water that we have, and nice consistent mix. Yeah, see, it's getting even thicker. So we had some that still needed to be worked together. Yeah, see, it's not loose anymore. Let's keep on going with another teaspoon, and I'll bet that's all we need to do. That's the benefit of using a soap so many times. You get used to what you need, you get consistent results. And we still have a nice hydrated lather. Let's go with it. A little water on my face again. And reposition for the rest of the shave. Still a good bit of backbone with this brush, but the tips have really improved. And I think what has happened is more of the shaft has loosened up a little bit. The core may still be quite stiff, but more of the kind of the middle part of the shaft is starting to relax a little bit. Rewatching the Sherlock series on Netflix. Man, that Martin Freeman was in everything. He was in like 3 big shows / movies, something like that. Sherlock and the Lord of the Rings. Or Hobbit. I'm having trouble actually putting him in it now. One of those types of series that was so big, and there was something else that he was in. Just really enjoying him as a character. All right, now I decided to go with 4 on this shave, but that's before I remembered it had been 1.5 days of growth, but let's just try it anyway and see what happens. It would be funny if I, didn't have to have the razor at such an extreme setting. See, this is not bad. This is a little tuggy. This is, probably about what I might expect from a 1.5 days of growth. Tiny kind of stinginess, from the tugging, but not really a big deal. Especially when you know that the passes after this are going to be really nice. But because I waited so long, I don't know whether this level of tugginess is because I need to maybe try a different setting, or if it's just because I waited too long. And there we go. Man, what a great razor. All right, and the Slim is has a slimmer handle, a little bit longer. Basically the same head. It's a little thinner of a head to let people get under their noses and things like that. A lot of people think it's a better design. I think maybe it shaves just a little better, but not enough for me to want me to switch away from this nice grip. The thick handle, the look of it looks I like the way it looks better than the Slim. But they're both terrific razors, and the black handled versions as well. Those are called Supers, but we also call them Black Beauties. There's a long handled version and a regular handled version. Guys, that may have been tuggy, but I can tell in the rinse I've got a lot more hair removed when using this Fat Boy than when I'm using my Fatip Special Edition with the open comb, the Piccolo. So this is, it may have, this may be the Gillette adjustables at a more normal setting might be my new go-to. Just goes to show you how you should play around with stuff. Revisit old things, because the blade edge obviously has changed and now is back to working okay. Of course, I need to try it one more time I need to try it again with a normal growth duration to be sure. And now it's definitely going to be a comfy shave, since I know that I was able to get off so much in that first pass. When I started with this blade, I hoped to go 1 month, just a month, back in 2018. And this soap, as usual, is giving me tremendous glide. Feels great. And there we have a rinse. Let's load up the brush for pass number 2. Pass number 3. Is that what I said? Plenty of lather for the shave, so it looks like I could start reducing. But if I wanted to, but to be honest, I mean, this is enough for 2 passes for sure. I mean, I could go a little bit less if I wanted to, but I wouldn't. I want some margin. Often I do an extra pass, especially with an old blade. We'll, of course, have to see if closeness is going to be acceptable. But judging from how much hair was taken off of the first pass, I sure would guess that it's going to be acceptable. It's going to be nice. And then this is the third pass, so I'm going to do the reverse direction right here. You probably have your own tricky spots, so you may have another area that you kind of have to do something special on. No irritation. No nicks or anything like that. If I want to hit that area one more time with a little bit more lather, just reach down, grab some out of the bowl. And this stuff, this is slicker than Milksteak. I just used Milksteak the other day. What was it? Which soap was it? Dayman. I tried Dayman. Got a hold of a puck of that. Used. Nice lemon scent. Pretty basic. Basic in a good, a normal way, not basic in the contemporary sense of, not great. Not, you're so basic. I'm getting too old to use those kind of words. And rinse. Guys, this is a better cut than I get with the Fatip Piccolo with the open comb. I'm looking forward to trying this again with a normal growth and seeing what kind of tugginess we have. It was a little tuggy at first in that first pass, but after that, piece of cake, and the result, really nice. Much better. Much better in terms of the length of the tips and my trouble spot. Really nice shave. And it's people just don't think you can get a good shave with a blade. Sometimes they claim past 10 uses. Some people claim even 3 uses, but we're sitting here at 350. I'm glad I chose on this little milestone to try out the Fat Boy, because it was worth it. And I'll play around. Maybe next time I'll use a 3 or, something like that, which I think is remarkable that in the beginning, after about 30 uses or so, I start ramping up to get better comfort. But then at some point, it looks like I could have dialed it back, to a 3 or a 4. Don't know when that was. I didn't think it was possible, but, we learned something today. All right, well, hey, got the good rinse done. Let us end with Sharp Dressed Man from Stirling. Just trying to use this one up. I haven't bought very many aftershave products over the years. I just kind of seem to gather them up. When I buy a box of soaps from somebody, like a mystery box or whatever, I just kind of end up with aftershave products. And I haven't bought too many myself. It's nice. Works well. Easygoing, light little scent. It's not so bright that it gets in the way of me going to sleep. This is a late night shave and I'm going to go to sleep very soon. But it's also kind of peppy and zesty if I was starting my day. I like the Balm. It's not as intense as the aftershave splash, which is a little too much for me in this particular scent. Green Irish Tweed from Creed is the original cologne that this was inspired by. All right. Let's clean up. So here's what this guy looks like after being towel stropped and dried off, that sort of thing. As you can see, look at that backbone. It just springs right back. The tips, however, can be moved around a little bit, but the backbone very strong on this one. And so we'll keep using it. I do open it up at the end of the shave, not to try to increase display, although that would be nice, but to increase the airflow so we get nice breathability and we don't have any mildew in the middle of the knot develop. All right, guys, we're all done. Good shave. Really happy with it. Closeness is excellent. The balm has a little bit of a tacky feel, but it's absorbed. This older one has absorbed pretty quickly, but it won't take too long before the skin feels normal and great and all that stuff. I like put on the balm right before I go to bed. Kind of a healing thing overnight, you know, is kind of the feeling I get. I have oily skin anyway, so I could do a splash if I wanted, but I really like this balm. I think Stirling's got a good formulation. Soap, great as always. Lather, you know, I used Milksteak recently, and this lather today just reminded me. What I like in a lather: slipperiness, the slickness, the glide of the razor being effortless is, to me, at the concentration where I like to mix it really wet, better with this fine soap than fine accoutrements soap instead of the Milksteak formula. And a lot of people are loving Milksteak right now. It's a relatively new base that he's come out with, and I think it's for maybe people who overload, people who use aggressive razors, that kind of thing. It needs to maybe, oh, and then of course it's got the skin, and I think that's what I realized, maybe increased drag just a little bit, kind of oils or butters or whatever's in there that he uses to benefit your skin. It's slowing down the razor, and at least for me, that's not necessary, and I don't like it quite as much when I really look at it. But some of those are wonderful scents, and I'm definitely going to keep Milksteak around in a few scents. But I'm really glad I have more of the Bison and Icarus soaps because it just fits my style. Nothing wrong with Milksteak. A lot of people love it. Just not a good match for my own preferences. All right. Good shave. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves, and I sure hope this has been a good one to help you out in some way. A little mini milestone of 350 with this blade, and I think that's pretty interesting. Pretty cool. Had no idea it would do it. And this is the first blade. This very blade is the first one I ever got to 100, and I may be an expert in terms of marathoning this blade and some marathon concepts in general, but I haven't taken a bunch of other blades, any other blades, to 100. My feather is at about 62, I think, but that's my next highest. And so there are plenty of other guys who've been shaving a lot longer with this style that have really put a lot of uses on blades and stuff. But I share what I know, and we go from there, right? You guys take care. Have a good night.